let's take a moment to talk about the song Rockin' All Over the World. I had to get there eventually. This is a song which has been really big for Quo down the decades. In fact, that is an understatement. That's the wrong adjective to use, isn't it? Monumental over the last 47 years. This is a song which I think if you asked people to name a Status Quo song, I think the majority of them would come back with this. The song was written by John Fogerty of Creedence Clearwater Revival and released in 1975 on his album that year. And this was a song which Rick Parfitt heard on the radio while driving, and somehow he just fixated on it. There was just something about it that caught his attention, and he went and bought the album, and he liked the album, but this one song, Rockin' All Over the World, caught his attention. He thought maybe Quo could do their own version of it, because up until that point, they'd done a few versions here and there of different things, Roadhouse Blues and Junior's Wailing and Bye Bye Johnny on their most recent album at that point, certainly if they were working on it. And so, a couple of years later in Sweden, Studio Boas, they recorded their version of Rockin' All Over the World, which was a top 3 hit here in the UK, and a song in which they opened Live Aid with in 1985, probably helping to cement its reputation as a solid Status Quo classic in the eyes of the mainstream public. This is a song which they have performed in pretty much every concert since then, haven't they? And obviously as well, they've done rewrites of the song over the years for charity, such as Running All Over the World in 1988. I think at football matches and stuff, they tend to replace whatever it is with All Over the World, the first word there. So this is a song which has really gone into the public consciousness. And I must say that this is no more evident to me. We're going to get a little bit of a, it's just been Father's Day, hasn't it? And there's a little bit of a father story. So I was listening to CBeebies radio with my son. And we like this because it kind of gives us a break from the TV screen and from whatever activity. And we're just eating our lunch and we put on CBeebies radio and there's some educational stuff on there. And we listened to a show on there called The Quo Jetters, which is also a TV show, been running for 5 years between 2015 and 2020. And this is a show about geography. It's like a CGI thing where you've got 3 or 4 cadets that kind of go around the world trying to solve problems and stuff. And they're led by a unicorn called Ubercorn. And there is an enemy / villain / kind of friend called Grandmaster Glitch. And this is a fun show that teaches young children about geography. And it's a fun thing. And so I was listening to this radio show and it come to the end. And one feature of this is it's got kind of it looks kind of futuristic. It's kind of set in the future, I guess, but it's also got kind of a retro slant on it because there's almost like a disco feel, an electronic disco-y vibe going on there. And one thing they do is parodies of 70s and 80s up to the modern day tunes. And I'm listening to this show, and at the end, this song comes on, and I hear this piano intro, and I think, oh, that's interesting. What is that? That sounds familiar. What is it? And then I hear, and suddenly I realize they are doing a parody of Rockin' All Over the World, Jettin' All Over the World, which, if you hear it, it is an electronic version of the song, And this song changes the lyrics to match the TV series. And it's a fun thing. Grandmaster Glitch comes in and changes the words, glitching all over the world. I'm glitching, glitching. And I have to say, my son turned to me. He knows the song, Quo's version, and he said they're doing something funny. And I thought they are. That this is really interesting. However, one thing that struck me was that they were doing Quo's version in particular. It wasn't just the song; they were doing Quo's version. And there's three things that tell me that. One of them is the intro is trying. It's in a slightly different key, but it's trying to do Andy Bowen's piano intro. Sort of. It's sort of that thing. It's like it's that kind of thing. And then the solo is not the solo. It's not that it's not that. It's actually the ending used as the solo. The bit that Rick came up with, apparently, the that is used as the solo section in this sort of minute and a half version. And the third thing that tells me is that when you go onto the website and you search for it on BBC Sounds, it comes up as a separate song, and it's called the Quo Jetters. So, yeah, definitely inspired wholeheartedly by Status Quo. I thought that was really fun, actually, and I wasn't sure many fans were aware of that. I discovered it by accident, and I just thought it was a really fun thing, and kind of shows that Quo's version and Rick Parfitt's notion in 1975 that there was something there when hearing John Fogerty's version was absolutely right, even decades on. What do you think of Rockin' All Over the World? Did you know it before Quo covered it? Are you a fan? Are you still a fan of the song? Or is it a case that familiarity breeds contempt? I think I still like it. I still like all the various incarnations of it over the years. I still think it's a fun song. What do you think? Do let me know in the comments below.